On June 18, 2024, President Biden took executive action to keep American families together by providing protections for certain spouses and stepchildren of U.S. citizens. In the form of parole in place, the new process, which is not yet open for applications, will provide work permits, deportation protection, and a possible pathway to U.S. citizenship for 500,000 people who are integral to our families, communities, and the U.S. economy.
Wait, don't you already have deportation protection if you're married to a U.S. citizen?
Not necessarily. If a person who is married to a U.S. citizen enters the U.S. lawfully, they may be eligible to obtain a green card and eventually become a citizen too. But for many people who enter the U.S. without permission and are married to a U.S. citizen, our broken immigration system would require them to return to their home country, often for at least a decade, before being eligible to obtain a green card. So it's easy to understand why many choose to remain with their spouse and children and continue risking deportation. This new parole process would allow them to adjust their immigration status without having to leave the country and their families. This is a huge step forward in our fight to keep families together and win a pathway to citizenship for all. The details of who will qualify and how the Biden administration will implement this new process on a case-by-case basis is expected to be published in the Federal Register around the end of summer 2024. Until then, here's what we know so far about eligibility. To qualify, a spouse must have been legally married to a U.S. citizen as of June 17, 2024, have lived in the U.S. for at least 10 years before that date, have entered the U.S. without permission, which generally means that they did not enter through an official port of entry, and must not have certain criminal and immigration violations. The stepchild of the U.S. citizen whose spouse is eligible may also qualify for protections if they are unmarried, under 21 years old, and their parents were married before they turned 18. If you qualify for this new process as a spouse of a U.S. citizen, you will be granted a 3-year work permit and deportation protection, also known as parole in place. During this time, you are able to apply for a green card without leaving the U.S. and may eventually be eligible to become a U.S. citizen. What a relief! I also heard that the announcement can benefit DACA recipients. Can you tell me more? Sure. President Biden's executive action makes it easier for DACA recipients and other dreamers who graduated from U.S. colleges and have job offers in their field to get work visas. This new guidance will provide many DACA recipients and other dreamers with employment pathways that could potentially lead to permanent residency. It will also enable employers to retain their DACA employees.
I have family and friends who may be eligible for these initiatives. Can they apply now?
Unfortunately, you cannot apply yet. Until the Federal Register is published and there are instructions to apply, this new process has not been implemented and there is no application to apply just yet. Beware of notarios or scammers who might try to exploit the situation for money by providing false information. You can find a trusted immigration service provider near you at iAmerica.org/legal help. For up-to-date information and alerts, text SPOUSE to 802-495. Let's fight to keep more families together.